We are back with a recap of the Cavaliers taking it to the 76ers at home, winning by the final score of 113 to 85. The Cavs' home record it now stands at 9-1, which is insane. The Cavs have definitely been defending home court very well throughout now the first quarter of the season. Diakite getting a spot in the starting lineup as Jarrett Allen and Kevin Love are still out, and we've seen what Robin Lopez being in the starting lineup looks like, and no thank you. So Diakite, step right up. Sure, we'll take you in the starting lineup. That's fine. He looked fine in his role. He got a couple 3-pointers, which would be nice if if he can be an outside threat, then that's cool. But again, it's just as long as he's better than Robin Lopez in the starting lineup, I think he should be fine until one of either Kevin. Well, honestly, even if Kevin Love comes back, he'll still probably come off the bench. But as long as Jarrett Allen stays hurt, then sure, Diakite can take that 4 spot fine, and Evan Mobley can move to center. That seemed to work pretty well last night. So I guess just keep going with it until it looks terrible, which so far there's no reason to think that it will. The first quarter last night was pretty competitive. Nice to see some spark from Osman and LeVert from the bench. More on specifically Caris LeVert a little later, and the Cavs after the first quarter are up 4, and then the second quarter happens, and it was just a beatdown by the Cavaliers. They start out hot, they go up 11 before even 3 minutes had passed, and the offense doesn't cool down any time before halftime. Cavs scoring 44 points in the second quarter. The 76ers offense did actually improve in the second quarter. They scored more points in the second than they did in the first, but the Cavs offense going nuts, and the Cavs defensively not allowing a ton of points. The 76ers only scoring 21 in the first, so scoring 27 in the second. While it's better than their first quarter was for the 76ers, not exactly like the Cavs were like a Swiss cheese defense and just letting the Sixers go off, and the Cavs are up 69 to 48 at halftime, so it was already kind of getting into blowout territory. And then early in the third quarter, the Cavs would extend their lead to 30, and the game never really gets anywhere close to competitive after that. Both benches getting a lot of minutes in this game due to how the nature of how the game was throughout the entire pretty much second half. Significantly less scoring in the second half for both teams as well, probably having something to do with both of the benches being there, and honestly both teams just kind of acknowledging that, yeah, this game's pretty much over by the middle of the third quarter. Caris LeVert, like I mentioned earlier, he was showing a spark. He ended up with a game-high 22 points, shooting the ball very well, and I think if he can get that going, if he can get some of the shots to fall more consistently and get more consistent offense going, the Cavs bench can be so much better and so much more efficient and well-rounded when he is a legitimate scoring threat. I do feel like Caris LeVert has a good potential to be one of the better, maybe not the better ones in the league, but definitely a really good option for the Cavs to have coming up off of the bench as a sixth man. It's just been a matter of him finding his scoring touch, and if this game is what gets him into it, then the Cavs could be even more of an even better team than they've shown themselves to be already. Something that I do want to mention is I think that Evan Mobley has been getting better and better in his role as being the main guy in the paint with Jarrett Allen out of however many games he's going to miss. I know I've been saying that Evan Mobley has had solid performances for the last couple of games, but this one was really a nice game for him. I believe he finished with 16 points. He had a great game defensively guarding Joel Embiid. He got some points and drew some fouls, but really, as far as guarding Joel Embiid goes, I think Evan Mobley did about as well as you would have expected him to. I think that, you look at how Evan Mobley plays and just the poise he has and just, stuff that he seems to know how to do, and you think that it's crazy that this is only his second year in the league and that he's going to be even better moving forward for the Cavs. I think that's something that, to me, that's pretty mind-blowing. The Cavs, also something important in this game, they were shooting the ball much better than they have been in the past couple of games. The games against the Raptors in Detroit where they weren't really shooting the ball well at all. They were about 60% overall shooting, and from the three-point line, they were better than 50%. So that's pretty good numbers for both of those stats. Obviously, if you shoot the ball well, you're more than likely going to come out with a W, especially if you play defense the way the Cavs did in the first half. And really, again, the second half wasn't much of anything, just kind of garbage time for a whole almost 2 quarters. Obviously, Garland and Mitchell are continuing to be solid. They're putting in points and having good scoring games. Again, their numbers don't look that crazy because they weren't really relied on a whole lot in this game, but in the first half when the game was a bit closer and when it was still a bit of a toss-up who was going to come out on top in this one, they were definitely on their A game. And I feel like this was a good game overall to build some positive momentum for the Cavs going forward. You know, the last couple of games, even that win against Detroit, they didn't look that great. They looked a little shaky against the Detroit team that was just demolished by injuries. The Cavs do have injury problems, but you know, a Pistons team without Cade Cunningham is just kind of there at this point, and they had a pretty weak performance against them. And then obviously the game against the Raptors happened, but this one was a very solid game, both ends of the floor, pretty much everyone having some kind of contribution. Even Isaac Okoro, his offense kind of woke up a little bit, and he contributed there. So if Isaac Okoro can wake up and have at least some kind of decent secondary scoring added to his game this season, that would also help the Cavs bench a lot, because the only real issue I have with Okoro is that his offense has just been a complete liability this season. You've seen flashes of his defense being great and all that, but when you're essentially playing 4.5 on 5 on offense, that's not going to work. But if Isaac Okoro can start to knock down those open threes, start to maybe drive in the paint a little more, get some layups to go, then that could be something that definitely boosts Isaac Okoro's game. And if defenses have to at least respect him as being able to do something on offense, then I think the Cavs bench can definitely get a whole lot better and a whole lot more well-rounded and efficient. But that's pretty much it for this video. Please let me know what you think of this game down in the comments below. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and you would like to see more like it. And I will see you at the next one.